Representative Marino joins us on the phone after we all saw that fight go down on C-SPAN. Good afternoon to you, Congressman. Thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure.
This did that surprise you that she reacted that way? I've never seen her storm across the House floor like that and continue to argue with you, finger waving, and she said you were insignificant.
Yeah, but it doesn't surprise me. I've noticed over the years, and I've only been there for 2 terms, but I've noticed she really has, I think, a couple of times crossed the line in what she said, but coming across the floor like that, it's a severe breach of decorum and rules. But does it surprise me? No.
Mm. Yeah, and this was all over, for those who are unaware of this verbal fight that took place. This was all over the debate for the border bill, which the House passed Friday. And I listened to what you said. I saw it. I didn't hear any untruths that you were speaking. You were accurately pointing out that even when Democrats were controlling Congress, in addition with controlling the White House, if immigration was such a big issue, if it's such a big issue now, why then did they pass on addressing it any time that they could have in the past? It must not have been as important as they claimed.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They had the chance several years to address that. And lo and behold, when they lost the election in 2010, lost the House, then they threw a bill together. There was bipartisan support. Republicans supported it in November and December of 2010, knowing that the next month they were not going to have control. It did not address the border issues. It did not address security. It really stressed the E-Verify, but that was a Republican idea to begin with. Now it's just one of these better cover my tail now because we lost control. Now we need to say that we tried to address border issues, but it's just a political move, and I spoke the truth. I was gentlemanly about it. Unlike her, she was certainly not ladylike about it and following the rules, but again, no surprise.
Did you apologize to Representative Pelosi because her people were claiming that you had apologized earlier?
Not at all. I'll tell you exactly what happened. First, I wasn't going to make any deal out of it at all. When I left the floor, the reporters talked to me. I said it was just a misunderstanding. She didn't like what I said. It's over. Next thing I know is her press office puts out that she accepted my apology. That's a blatant lie. Again, a lie, which, again, does not surprise me. What happened was I went over with my leader, McCarthy, and another congressional member, a female, and said, my comments were not directed to you. I do not make comments directly to anyone. I do not personalize this. She put her hand out to shake my hand, and I shook her hand, and she says, thank you, okay, and started talking about how bad it was for the children. And I said, you don't have to tell me about the children. I have foster kids. I have big brother. My kids are adopted. No one protects children like I do. I was a prosecutor. And then it was, even the Catholic bishops. I said, I know I'm Roman Catholic, but I just want to make one thing clear. It wasn't, I didn't even mention your name. And she put her hand out again and shook my hand and said, thank you, okay, and then I left. I don't owe her an apology. She's not getting an apology. She owes an apology to the American people and to my constituents because if she says that I am the names that she called. First of all, she said it was lying, number one, and I wasn't lying. I was completely stating facts. And insignificant. She called me insignificant twice. And when she calls me
I'm not quite sure why she chose to characterize you that way. That seemed odd to me. She said you were an insignificant person. Yes. She said this on the floor of the House. I'm just kind of curious, out of all the things to say, why she would... You were elected. Is she calling the citizenry that sent you to D.C. insignificant as well?
That and anyone who doesn't agree with her. She's one of the wealthiest people in the House. She doesn't like anyone confronting her on issues, and I do. Maybe her own party doesn't, maybe her own conference does it, but I'm a street fighter. I'm going to be polite about it. I was a gentleman, and I think that's another thing that really made her come unhinged, that I wasn't going to cause a scene on the floor. But, there are people in Congress that, that think they're royalty. And that was a perfect example of it, but not with me. I'm sorry, and not with my constituents. And she forgets that we work for the American people. It's not the other way around.
Absolutely. Were you happy with the border bill that came out of the House? Do you think it met everything that you would have liked to see it meet?
At this point, this is such an intricate, complex issue. If someone thinks in one fell swoop it's going to be resolved, they're wrong. That's the problem we have in Congress.
Did you think it went far enough on DACA? Did it go far enough on DACA?
There are certainly improvements that we can make on it, but let's see how this works at this point. We need the three things that we need to do: secure the borders. We need to change the law that they had in 2008, and we need to stop sending money to countries that do not support us and do not to continue to send their people back to us. It's a very complex issue. And I thought it was great because we in the conference, the Republicans, in addition to the discussions that we had over the past several weeks, we went down and we decided we're going to stay there. And we all took part in making the decision to stay and to get this bill passed. And that's the way our system is supposed to work.
Yeah, shortly before that floor fight with Nancy Pelosi, with the minority leader, the president was taking House Republicans, trying to take them to task. And he was saying, well, how dare you all pull this in conference right before you're going on recess? But one of the things that the president failed to mention, even if, Congressman, even if you rubber stamped the president's policy, even if you gave him everything he wanted in terms of amnesty, you gave him the $3.7 billion, Senate goes on recess too. Did that that had to aggravate you, knowing that no matter what you passed, the Senate's not going to deal with it till the end of August anyway?
Well, that's another issue I took up with her. I was tired of hearing that this bill's never going to pass, the president's never going to sign it. And right before I mentioned that, look, you had control of the House for a couple of years. Why didn't you do it? I said, are we not supposed to do our work because the Senate is lazy? I mean, come on, let's get real about this. And she just didn't like the fact that somebody finally challenged her, and I'm not going to let up. I'm going to continue to fight. As I said, I'm a street fighter, and I'm going to do what's right, I think, for my district and for the country. And overwhelmingly, we've been getting calls on secure the border, secure the border. If the president wanted $3.7 billion, and we trimmed that down to something manageable, and if he were serious about this, there were two things in that $3.7 billion that he wanted, and he hardly even addressed any border security. But he wanted to spend money in two areas, and part of that was he wanted money for playgrounds in Central America, and he wanted subsidies for coffee growers. Now, come on, this is a serious issue, and he's worrying about playgrounds and people in Central America growing coffee, and then not addressing the number one issue. We have to secure the border first, because I was just in Central America several months ago, and I was talking to ICE agents, and I was talking to the government down there, and people think now, because of what the president said, that if they come to the United States, young people and any people, that they're going to get permits and they're going to stay here. Right. And
that's what needs to be addressed.
And they're trying to make it out like these people are running because they need protection. I talked to one agent down there, and he says, Tom, I've said to these kids, to the teenagers who come across, are you fleeing violence? He says, it's been violent down here for 10 years. I'm coming to the United States because they say now it's time to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I have heard over and over again, and that it's because they heard they could stay. Representative Tom Marino, we appreciate you speaking truth on the floor, even if you did get a finger wagged in your face.
Hey, listen, I told you, it's a walk in the park. Two people can wave their finger in my face and get away with it. My wife and my mother. That's it.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate it, Congressman. Congressman Tom Marino, thank you so much, sir. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Bye
Take
now.
care.